Now we need to give the instruction to the computer. And this instruction will be stored in its own memory. And the machine that obtains data as input processes the data and produces valuable output. So input, process, and output. Yeah. When we're dealing about computer, this is the concept that you have to apply. First, you have to think about what are the inputs that you have. Some of the inputs are given to the computer. Sometimes you may have to ask the user to give the input. The process is what do you do with the input, right? And the output is to produce something that you want out of that. Now, output will be stored in various storage depending on the situation. Input data using the keyboard, process using microprocessor, and output can be the monitor screen or the keyboard. Sorry, what I'm talking about, or the printer, if you want to get the hard copy. Set of instructions that direct computer to perform tasks. Programming language is used to write instructions, and the programmer is what you will be. Yeah, programmer is what you will be. The programming language. There are plenty of programming language available. So not only that you will focus on any particular programming language. In fact, you will have to be well versed in many different programming languages. So for this particular course, we are going to focus on C++, right? C++. And high school, some high schools, they have taught C++. I don't know whether the syllabus still applies for today, but I reckon it still does. Yeah? C++ is what is it? It's a somewhat low-level programming language, not too low. It's a third-generation programming language that you must compile in order for it to work. Now, Program Development Lifecycle, PDLC. We have a problem. We perform the analysis, algorithm design, coding, preprocessor, compiler. This is the part. We start the coding. Now, this is the part that the compiler takes over, the computer takes over. Preprocessor, compiler, linker, loader, execution, and we get the results. Right? So this is the part. How many of you, out of curiosity, how many of you have had the experience of learning Arduino? Raise your hand.
Arduino, yeah. I heard about it, but I never tried.
All right. Anyone? That's good. So, thank you. What is the difference between here and Arduino? So basically, they are the same. They are the same. The difference here is one is to run on a microprocessor and the other one is to run on microcontroller. When you run it on a computer, it's using microprocessor. But if you run it on Arduino, it's on microcontroller. What's the difference? A microprocessor is large. It can handle many different tasks. It can perform almost anything. So a microprocessor is far greater than microcontroller. A microcontroller, what it does is that it only performs a specific task repetitively. Right? That is microcontroller, such as Arduino, Pico, and many other different microcontroller. But the concept of programming and the idea behind it, which is to solve a problem, remain the same. You can apply on microprocessor or microcontroller. This is the most important part. Yeah? Problem analysis. This is the concept that I want each and every one of you to master. If you can analyze the problem, solve the problem, this is the skill that not only you can apply on computer programming, but apply in your real life as well. Yeah. Everything in real life requires problem solving because we cannot run away from problem. Can you?
No,
No, you cannot run away from problem.
we can only
No.
ignore it.
Right? As much as you think that this subject is only for computing, no, it's not. Yeah, you can apply this in your life, and trust me, you will need this a lot in your life. How do you want to go about assessing your problem and try to solve? Break into small pieces, handle one by one, try to reintegrate everything back together into a good result that you want. Right? So this is it. The purpose is to describe in detail a solution to a problem and information needed in solving the problem. Now, this is the most important part. It's personally, I find it make or break. Yeah, if you can't make it, then you break it. That's it. So in this case, they will give you some examples. The input. In this case, we have got all of this input, and the output. That is the output. This is the process. Yeah, we have many different inputs. It's either user input, text input, many different inputs. And you know the end result, what you want out of those inputs. What are the process? You will work on the process. You define what are the process required in order for you to get into the desired output. For example, here, a problem that can be solved by computer to calculate and display age. Now, what's the input? What's the output? What's the process? Step number 2, you design. Yeah, definition of a design is a framework or flow chart or flow that shows the steps in problem solving, either a flow chart or pseudocode. Design. Get the input. Calculate the age. What's the formula? Age equal current year minus year born. Print, display the age. So this is the pseudocode. This is the part where programmers tend to ignore. Yeah, this is the part where programmers, at least experienced programmers, tend to ignore. I can't be bothered to work on this anyway. But you will have to learn about this before you get to a state where you feel comfortable about programming. You will have to go with this. Yeah, make sure that you really understand the problem and you know how to convey that to people who will evaluate you. Understand?
Yes.
Now, based on that, this information, you will have to work on a flow chart. So you see here, get the input, calculate the age, print the age. There is a flow in there. Now this is what you have to convert to. After you have done that, you convert into a flow chart. And these are the symbols. Terminal symbol, input output symbol, process symbol, decision symbol. On-page connector provides continuation of logical path. And this is the flow line. There you go. Example, we have start. Yeah, we have start. Next, we have input year. Input year born and the current year. That is the input output symbol. Now, next we get to the process. Age equal current year minus year born. Next is print age. And after the program printed the age, the program ends. All right. Implementation. process of writing the code and translate into the design into computer program using programming language. There you go. This is your C++ code. Here, what do we do? Up here, we include the library. This is the main block. Main block is the one that will run your code. If you want it to run, you must put into the main block. And that main block, see, can I write something on here? I can. If I were to open this using Google Slides, then only I can. Never mind, this is the first class, it's fine. So, a main function is a must for a program to run. We have void main will start with a curly bracket and will end with a curly bracket. Anything in between are your codes. Here, the first part here are called the variable.
Variable.
What is a variable?
Pun boleh ubah.
Would store your information. Right?
Yes.
Now, this is, come again?
Yes.
Right. Here is for input. This is the input. This is the process. And this is the output. All right. So, so we'll have a look at this in a bit. So example, problem that can be solved. Step number 4 is testing. The program that you have created, program testing requires testing the computed program to verify that it produces expected output. A different set of testing data is normally used to verify that the program works. Yeah. What if user input a different type of input? What will happen to your program? Those are the reasons for you to do the testing. And finally, maintenance. Often there may be new requirements to be added into the current program, making revisions to meet the changing needs with ongoing correction of problem. The major efforts in the program maintenance. After the program is running, you may want or you may need to maintain it in order for it to keep on going. Yeah, especially when the program is meant to be used for large operation, you want to make sure that it is working. But otherwise, they will come with more problems for you to solve, which you do not want to mess with. So, by the way, up to this point, you understand that it's a matter of giving instruction to the computer so that the computer can perform what is required. First, you have a problem. You have to be clear about your problem. You have to design the solution for your problem. Next is you have to give instruction to the computer to help you solve the problem. So, from here, you can tell that the computer cannot do much without the instruction. It needs your help in order for it to work. Now, for the first part, I think what we'll do is we'll have a look at something. I'll share you a different screen in a bit. Right. This is the one that I want to show you. Can you see?
Yes.
You can access this page as well. Blockly Games. But wait until a bit. So here for each animal, this is about definition, so it's fine. It's not that interesting per se. A picture, suppose a picture of a duck here. We have an object called duck. We have a picture. We find the picture of a duck. We choose legs. How many legs does it have?
2.
2.
Of an object. Yeah, these are the traits of an object. Now we have beak. Has beak. Anything else? It's just feathers. Feathers, yes, it does have feathers. Right? A snail. Put a picture of a snail. Choose the leg.
0.
There you go.
Slime.
Shell.
Shell and slime.
Slime.
A bee. Put a picture of a bee. Choose the leg. How many legs does the object have?
Ice.
It has a stinger.
Ice.
Honey.
And
Honey.
there you go. And finally, we have
Are you getting
Cat.
on with the game?
Yes.
cat.
I finished it.
With fur.
Uh,
With the leg for
Somebody else.
whiskers for the cat. Answer,
I cannot finish
of
the last
course,
level.
Perfect.
Last one. Okay.
Now, this
Same.
is the one that
The
I want
last
to
one. Step
Notice,
number 9.
Oh.
you want to give
Number 10 is-
instruction to the computer. Alright? You want to
Analu.
give instruction to the computer. You have a problem. The problem here, you can see,
Now raise
is
your
to
hand
get
if
this
you get
person
up
from this
to
from this location
a
to
minimum
the
of
destination.
number 9.
How do you do that?
You
Move forward.
Move forward.
raise your
Move
hand
forward.
if you
There
have
go. What
many
happens
to
if you
start.
want to move forward?
Dito
Up
okay.
to
Number
it
8.
will move forward, but here in this case, it will only move once. So reset, put the move forward, another move forward, run the program you run
We've done number 8.
2 times,
So we
and
have
it gets to
Aiman,
the destination.
Zulaika,
Notice, you have to
Akif,
give instruction.
Liliani,
Yeah.
So,
and
how
Murdiana.
about if you try working on this?
And Rizwan
on
as well.
this stand,
Rizwan?
yeah?
But I
Move forward.
finished it until 10.
No, you try
you've
on your
done
own. No, wait. You try on your
you're
own
done.
then.
Yeah, I do all of them.
Count and meet
Who
again
have done up to number
after
8 and above?
15 minutes.
Raise your hand.
Or
Oh,
20
and
minutes.
above. Alright.
Okay,
Oh.
20
And
minutes.
above. Raise your
We'll
hand.
meet again. In the meantime, we can all
So we
blank
have
the screen
Zulaika
and
and
mute
Rizwan.
ourselves. So
Alright.
when we come back, why don't
Zulaika.
you show me your achievement?
Okay, but
I'm still at level
where's
8.
the link for this?
Blockly Games,
Alright. And Rizwan.
sorry, blockly.games.
Alright.
Rizwan?
He dot King.
Yeah, blockly.games. Enter.
Oh, Rizwan. Rizwan?
Gosh. Habi ko.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Now, Zulaika, why don't you show the class your screen? You may put
Right.
your hands down.
Right.
You can put your hands down. Zulaika, why
Right.
don't you show us your screen, please?
Show my screen. Wait.
Yes, present the screen.
Wait.
Again, this is a
I
practice.
can.
It is a practice because you are going to spend quite a lot later on. So it's a practice that you have to start from now.
This.
At the bottom. Yeah, at the bottom. There you go.
Oh, tukar background.
All right. So this is number 8.
Yes.
Class. Oh, class.
Yes.
What does she have to do?
She has to put repeat until that marker first. Then put forward.
Go ahead. Help her.
Wait. First, F is ahead. Do move forward. Below that, put if pass it to the left, turn left. And then to the right, turn right. Then run.
Oh.
Right? So notice, these are the instructions that you have to give to the computer. In programming, this is what you will have to be working on. All right, understand? Now, at least in this case, you have done quite a lot. You have basically learned quite a lot. We have yet to cover about repeat until. We have yet to cover about if, do, else. We haven't done that, but still you managed to do it with the help of block coding.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a good thing.
Okay.
So
Can I start sharing it?
screen? Yes, you can stop sharing. Right. Now for this course, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to do some C++ programming. The one that you're working on earlier was block programming converted into JavaScript. Right? Converted into JavaScript. But here we are going to work on C++. And in order for you to learn about C++, you will need to have C++ compiler. Have you got that installed in your computer?
MS Visual.
I would prefer is if everyone goes with the same application or compiler. Personally, I would prefer if you download what's it called? Most of us would prefer to use in here, at least in UiTM Kedah, we prefer to use dev cpp. Yeah, dev cpp. Let me see. I'll put that in the chat. All right, why don't you try and download that?
All right.
Have a look at the chat and download Orwell dev cpp.
So when you run the program, you will
Do
see something.
it says select a type of install. Do we need full, minimal, safe, or custom?
Personally, I would prefer with the default.
Or full?
Yes, no problem. Any default.
All right.
Can you see?
No.
No. All right. I'll stop presenting. Let me try again. Window.
I've downloaded.
Not showing my screen, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still not showing. It's only show blank screen.
Shit. How do I go about? There you go. These are the kind of problems that you will come across. Right, can you see?
Yes, we can see it now.
Is that what you get?
Yeah. Got the same thing.
Okay, fair enough. Yes.
Yes.
What TV is?
Okay.
Okay. Right. So here we can see this is the first one. You can file or you can click here to create a new source file. New source file. Here, for this example, we are going to create a Hello World program. Hello World is very important for programmers because Hello World allows you to see whether you can output the results or not. No input just yet, only to output. What do we do first?
Void main.
Now we have to include a library first.
Oh
What
yeah.
library is that? We need to use include include. Let me try to enlarge it a bit. Include IO3. Right? We include IO stream. You can put space in between, no problem, with or without space. Yeah? Include IO stream. IO stream is the library for input and output. Next is we are going to create the main program. So we void main open and close bracket because it's a function, open and close curly bracket for the block. All right.
All right.
Now, how do we output? Send the output to the output stream. When we send to the output stream, we have to do C out. C out. You see, notice the arrow is going that way. Obviously, here you have to put and the space. C out. Hello in bracket. Hello world. Terminate the line with semicolon. Any instruction must be terminated with semicolon. All right? That's it.
All right.
Now, we have to compile the program. Yeah, we have to compile. Up here, you notice there is a button. Compile, or you can press F9 to compile. All right, there you go. You have to save first. Hello.cpp. All right. Main must return an integer. It doesn't allow you to use void. So, integer main return not. There you go. Change that. If you are using some other compiler, it does allow you to use void for main. But in our case here, it doesn't allow you to use void. So the program must return an integer. In this case, we change this is the return function and it will return 0 if everything works fine. Press F9 to compile again. So, compilation is successful. What's this? Debug. Now, once you have done the compilation, you can perform run function. Yeah, F10 to run the program. F10 to run the program. No, it doesn't run. All right, fair enough. Why won't it run?
Source is not compiled, it says. But I tried to run it and it worked.
Why won't my program run now? Now the code is correct already. Only that. See? Documents. Hello, that's PP. It's probably because, let me see, I may have done something. Editor options, compiler options. Nope, not running as well. Hello. Why won't it run now? Now there you go. Right, fair enough. Export tools, compiler option. Okay. We are going to use that and one file. Alright. Okay. Now, okay, just that. Now, what have we here? So we have a library, IOStream. Yeah, the library allows us to use cout. And that cout is in the standard namespace. If you do not want to type like this, you may shorten it by typing using namespace standard. And you may remove that. It will compile and run the same way. So you can use cout. Now notice, if you were to use cout, the arrow is going towards the cout. If you want to get something from the user, you want the input. Now, you may use cin instead. Cin, the arrow is going to different direction. Right? Now, the hello world. Anyone did not manage to get it to work? Is everyone okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
How about if we try to create a program that requests for user input? All right?
All right.
We create a program that requests for user input. Now, instead of hello world, how about if you do hello whatever name that the user enter? Okay, whatever name that the user enter. In order for you to do that, basically, let me try to copy that, paste, and name. Ask the user for name. Right? Key out name. It will print name. Then the user will have to input something. Key in name. That name now here underneath here, this name is a variable. So a variable will have a data type. When we talk about name, what data type is associated with that?
Cha.
It's char. We talk about char. Char is short for character, and it says char. But char itself is only meant for one character.
String.
So,
Yeah, string.
String.
so it's a string. We have char bracket name. Now underneath here, instead of hello world, how about if we try to change that hello name? Will it compile?
Oh, yeah.
It won't compile. Name was not declared in the scope. Char name is not recognized. Why won't it compile? F11. Still not compile. Let's see, try to put the value, see whether it will work or not. Oh, hold on. What? There you go. Enter name. Suhardi. Hello, Suhardi. This is one way of doing it. Char itself is a character, only one character. So if you want to have more than one characters, we have to store into an array of characters. In this case, this array contains 10 members. Yeah. What is an array? An array is like food on the table. We have an array of food. So let's see. I understand that we are going here and there. Apparently, I don't find it to be offensive because we're in the introduction, yeah, in the introductory chapter. And later on, only that will combine everything. Let's clear that. I was testing. So, in this case, we have char. Char name. What will it accept? It's either A, B, C, up to Z. Any character, only a single character. When we declare char name 5, what will it accept?
It will accept 5 character.
It will only accept 4 characters.
Oh, 4. Oh, yeah. 0, 1, 2, 3.
All right. This will accept only 4 characters. Why? Because the very last bit, now this is an array of characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? You can put a value here. You can put a value here, here, here. And the last bit is reserved for the terminating line. Yeah? The last bit is reserved for terminating line. That's why when you declare 5, you only have 4 spaces. Okay?
All right.
Even if you write a long line, it will only take 4 to store in the variable. Right? Does everyone get that?
Yes.
Yes. How about if we want to have a space in between? Yeah? For example, your name is Ahmad Albab. Ahmad Albab. Now we change that to 20. Ahmad Albab, all right? So it should now accept Ahmad Albab, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Ahmad Albab.
Ahmad only.
Hello, Ahmad. What happens?
The space doesn't count.
Is it?
I think so.
Any idea, class?
1, 2, 3. Oh,
Any idea, class?
we need to put something, I guess. Because empty space is not a character.
Is it not?
I think so.
Right. In this case, what basically happens is that when the computer program detects a space, yeah, detects a space between Ahmad and Albab, it will treat this as a separate input.
Oh.
It will treat this as a separate input. So we have to do something about this. We have to tell the computer, you notice, we have to tell the computer to say that anything for the whole line is treated as a single
Character.
or store them in a single variable, not in different variables. And how do we do that?
String.
String
change the
No. We do not want to change that.
Oh,
The data type remains.
all right. We add underscore.
We do not want underscore. We want a space.
Hmm. I don't know.
We get in dot get line.
Oh,
I believe it's like this. I can't remember. In dot get line. Now we want to specify the size, say 20 characters. Maximum is 20 characters, or in this case, it should be 19, isn't it? In this case, it should be 19. 19 characters. Maximum. Try to compile. There you go.
it work.
Does it work?
Yes, it does work.
So these are the things, some of the introduction for you to get to know about C++ programming. Yeah, we merely try to introduce you with the concept of C++ programming, and along the way, if possible, we'll try to integrate programming C++ into microcontroller as well, if you are interested. Yeah, using Arduino, but of course, we're not going to be using Arduino because we're not going to be meeting one-on-one, face-to-face, but we're going to try to simulate what can be done using Arduino, using, of course, the C++ programming language. And of course, prior to learning that, we have to get our head ready, because they will work somewhat differently in the way you have to think about both approaches. Right here, in this case, we have a computer, we have a screen, but for microcontroller, we do not have all of that. The input is somewhat different than what we're doing here. Here we have a keyboard, we have a complete computer, whereas there, it is meant to be run continuously. Of course, input has got to come from somewhere else instead of user input. But nevertheless, we'll have a look at that in subsequent classes if we had the time and opportunity to cover some of the Arduino. By the way, Arduino is not part of the syllabus. All right? It's not part of the syllabus, so it's not going to be tested. Only what we're doing here, the C++ on a microprocessor, will be tested and graded. Now, up to this point, have you any questions?